What is happening, crypto crew? Sean's coming back at you, another cryptocurrency video, and we're going to begin straight into it. We're going to be talking about some of your favorite altcoins and also Bitcoin today. So without further ado, before we get started, go ahead and smash that like button if you like this content. Let's get straight into it. The first altcoin we're going to be talking about is Litecoin. And what do we see with Litecoin and what are we looking at? And is it a good time to buy? So right now, we see that there's a confluence area, this box that we have to get back above. And you see this has acted as resistance before and somewhat of support. So once we break through it, we have to get back up above it. Is it time to buy it? We're going to look at one indicator that's very important and something that you should definitely be taking a look at. It's the 50 and 200 moving averages. So you're looking at this on the daily. Remember, we're not looking on the weekly, we're looking on the daily. The daily is what we want to look at. The weekly helps further solidify our analysis. So looking here, looking at the daily, we do see that the 50 has crossed over the 200. And every time in history when this happens, it's definitely bullish. So back in history, it's crossed, came back down, had a retest, and then a blast up. Every single time it crossed here, blast up. Every single time it crossed here, had a major run up. This is Litecoin versus the US dollar once again. But there's one area that we just want to be mindful of before we really go full throttle into the markets. We want to see what Litecoin does because it could have some price action like this. It could come up and then come back down before a blast up. But this area here is an area to pay attention to. We're looking at roughly the 98 range up to the 108 range. You know, we have wicked above this. Looks like we haven't quite got back in that range, but once we break above it, and there's a lot of confluence that this trend definitely is changing to the upside, that would be potentially a good opportunity to get along. And then looking at Litecoin versus Bitcoin, as far as similar price action, what do we see? So we've seen that we have just been in a downtrend. Once again, the trend's your friend to the end. Look at this macro downwards resistance. We have broke out of this. And right now, is it a good time to buy? You have to be patient because once again, this is the confluence area that we have to get above before this trend definitely changes. We could fall back through this. We could just chop sideways and then come back down here and farther down. That's not what you want to do. You want to be patient. Some people look at the diagonal levels. You want to look at the horizontal levels as well when it comes to support and resistance. Once we get back above this level here, which is a 0.005 to 0.006 level, once we get back above that, then we could be off to the races. And you can see if you did get an entry in above this box, which is a very safe entry point, you see that you could still make hundreds of percent in gain against Bitcoin. And once again, this is Litecoin Bitcoin comparative. Our next altcoin to look at is Solana. And what do we see and what are we anticipating is the good time to buy? So right now we see Solana has similar downwards price action from its previous all-time high. We haven't got back above it. Looking at the 50 and 200 moving average, you see it has coiled up, but they haven't had that cross yet. And we haven't got back above the 200. So is it a good time to get in right now? Just looking at the Solana USD price chart? No, we don't believe so. Looking at Solana versus Bitcoin, same situation. You see the 50s coiling up and this downwards resistance we haven't got back above, and we're not back above the 200 moving average. The 200 moving average is something to definitely pay attention to. This is this green line. So we have this downwards resistance, and then we have this area of confluence where we want to get back above. And where is this at for Solana? We can see an area about right here. Once we break this downwards trend line and then get back above this level to start putting in higher lows and higher highs to change the trend, that's what we want to do. In the Bitcoin Solana comparative, you get back above this box, which is a healthy entry point. After breaking the trend's your friend to the end. Once again, you can still get 100 to 150% return just going back up to the previous all-time highs. So that's what we see for Solana. Now looking at Polkadot. What do we see? What do we anticipate? So looking at Polkadot, we see the downwards trend. This is on the daily. Once again, the downwards trend is your friend till the end. And we have broke this downwards resistance, and we did get back above both the 50 and 200 moving averages. That's very important. Now, where is the horizontal area of confluence where we have to wait to be patient? And that's this box right here. This is the range of about $10.68 all the way up to about $12.70. The reason we say you have to sit and be patient because if Solana comes up here and hits its head and ends up coming back down, hitting its head down here, which we're not predicting these lower price levels, but as you see, it could come up, it could come back down and then retest this level, and it'd be a lower retest, and it could be a lower entry point if that happens. But if you wait until we get back above this box and get an entry point up here, as far as the .USD pair, it would definitely be a better, healthy entry point up here. Patience is key in this game. Looking at the Bitcoin comparative, we have not even broke the downwards resistance. As you see, we had this downwards resistance we've been respecting since really the peak back in May of 2021. Alts have been in a bear market. Right now is not the best time to be in alts. There is some opportunities out there, and there's always going to be those one-offs that pump. That's what happens in bear markets. But the point is, right now is time to be patient as far as some of these altcoins, because this is the area of confluence right here, and we haven't even broken this downwards resistance. So once we break this downwards resistance, the next level to get back up is back above this purple box here, which is the 0.00037 level to 0.00038 level. Once we get back above that, then it'll be a good entry point to get back in and ride this wave to the upside for the alt season. Now looking at Ethereum versus the US dollar, we see that Ethereum is about to have that bullish cross on the 50 and 200 moving average, and the price action got back above the 200 moving average. So this is definitely looking bullish for Ethereum. And as you see, every time this happens, there is a wick up. Now, will this be long term? No one knows, because we're not past that area of confluence yet. And once again, that area of confluence can be around this level right here. As you see, this is acted as resistance, acted as support, and once we fell through it, what happened? We hit our head. We're not there yet. So once Ethereum gets back above the $1,800 to $2,000 range comfortably, that would be a good entry point to ride this wave up to the next all-time high. But we're not there yet. Right now it's Bitcoin season. And why do we say this and why do we anticipate this? Because the alts right now don't seem like it is the best entry point. Bitcoin right now does seem that it is in the best situation as far as a next level of support. Bitcoin is not going to just take off to the races right now, but Bitcoin sort of dictates the rest of the market. And right now the Bitcoin dominance is sitting at macro support. It hasn't broken through that support, but Bitcoin runs up. The next level we got to pay attention to is roughly the $30,000 to $33,000 range, because if we get back above this comfortably, then Bitcoin's probably going to rip off to the races. Now, one thing we want to show you, one thing we found in the charts, is these Fibonacci retracement levels that Bitcoin sort of has been respecting every single time over the past few halving cycles. So we have these peaks, then we have these pullbacks, peak, pullback, peak, pullback. So what do we find that Bitcoin does before the halving? Every single time, the 0.786 level is the levels that you have to pay attention to. So every single time we come down and have this drawdown, Bitcoin bounces off of this support and then comes up and hits its head on the 0.786 level before having a mini retracement, then a rip after the halving to up to a new all-time high. Every single time, come back up to the 7.86 level and then retracement, rip after the halving. Look where we're at right now. And where is this 0.786 level? Pull down from this previous all-time high to this low. That 0.786 level is around $50,000. So are we going to see Bitcoin up to $50,000 before the halving of 2024, March of 2024? If that's the case, there's a huge opportunity over the next 12 months. And what that opportunity is right now, Bitcoin at the current time is recording is around 23,000. What could you do? You could over double your money by just simply holding and riding this wave up. If history is any indication, what Bitcoin's going to do once it gets there, it could come up, hit its head, and then sort of come back down going into the halving before ultimately ripping up and making new all-time highs and blasting up to whatever price is going to go up to. No one knows that, but as we see, once we have this pullback, every single time in Bitcoin history, we have came back to this 0.786 level. Are we going to see $50,000 this year for Bitcoin? That could be in the cards. So with that, what do you think? What do you think is about to happen in the Bitcoin markets? Do you think $50,000 is a benchmark based off of history and what we just showed you? Is that obtainable this year for the year 2023? The Bitcoin bros can say that, based off of history, that is definitely in the cards. You can't discount that. So it might be an optimal time to buy. And with that, if you like this content, go ahead and smash the like button. If you haven't done so already, make sure you go ahead and subscribe. We appreciate all your support. And that's all I have for you today. I'm out.